Now this is a client named Sabrina, and we do some very intense work with the core belief of hers about accepting a part of herself. It starts out with a very strong indicator. She turns her head to the side. She constantly looks at you sideways. And using that indicator, we quickly get to the meaning of the indicator. It took about 2.5 minutes with no questions and no need for an explanation or a story. So it's a good example of working directly with experience without asking questions, without looking for a story, just going for it. It's also a good example of following and using agreement to move the process along. Following is about observing the client's spontaneous behaviors. It might even be spontaneous images or thoughts, and using those as soon as they come up. It's like following a pathway through the client's healing process. The things that are happening in the client's mind are generally in the direction of the healing process if you're not getting resistance. It's also an unusual example of using symbolism. I use a sweater to symbolize a child part of the client, and that seems to work. I mean, the client's reactions to the sweater are very significant. It's a good example also of a very powerful missing experience, which is about being picked up and held as a child or as a baby. I have seen this before many times. You know, people, especially people who were born in that era when Skinner was popular. Okay, and there's a little bit of an argument technique in there, which is fun to watch. And there's another example of re-consolidation, a couple of different ways. One of which is play and fun and laughter. The other one, of course, is the usual comforting. That's about it. I think it's a beautiful session, and there's a whole bunch of notes on it. There's over 120 notes on it.
Zurück mit deinen langen Füßen. Und bitte nicht sprechen, also nicht zwischendurch mal machen. Okay.
Don't speak German.
No, I don't want him to.
Right. Whisper.
Yes. Maybe I ask my sister for some words to translate.
Okay.
But,
yeah, Sabrina has this little shy look right here. She has her head down and she looks at me, over her. If she were wearing glasses, it'd be over her glasses. And she asked for her sister, Claudia, who I worked with a few days before this, to help her with the translation from German if she had a problem. So Claudia's going to come over. Now here's the first indicator. She tilts her head and turns it a little bit to the right and looks at you not straight on. She looks at you from that angle. That's a very common indicator. And this is about, uncertainty, a little doubt maybe, especially if it gets the further around it turns, the more distrust you're looking at. So you're a little nervous, huh?
Not a little.
A lot.
A lot. And excited and
sad. The sadness comes up.
And scared.
Scared. Sabrina's face just tells you everything. She must have done about 4 different or 5 different facial expressions in the last 15 seconds. She talks about being scared, but then her chin comes out like there's a bit of a challenging look in this one. She's very easy to work with. So.